Hi everyone, and welcome to your pre-recorded video for the first Thursday in May. When I first started this video, I accidentally said April, and I had to restart it because it hit me that, oh my gosh, we are at May when this video will be coming out to all of you. So first of all, I apologize for the late notice that you have a pre-recorded video tonight. We have to go to my granddaughter's t-ball game, which would have been done in plenty of time, but then we realized that Claire has her last orchestra concert right after t-ball. So we're going to be going from one right to the other. And so when I realized that on Tuesday night, because her concert wasn't on our calendar, I realized, oh no, I'm going to have to do a quick video for you guys. So here I am Wednesday evening, the evening before, which is why it's still April, getting this video ready for you all to still inspire you and give you some inspiration for this week with some Stampin' Up! Products. So tonight I'm going to be sharing with you the Thankful Garden bundle. Now this bundle is an online exclusive that is available now for you to be able to purchase. The projects you're going to be seeing tonight are also a class that I have opened for registration, so you can get your hands on this class and make all 5 cards, 2 of each design. So you'll make all 5 of the card designs that you're going to be seeing me showcase here tonight. So the Thankful Garden Suite does also have some stencils that come with it. Now I did not use the stencils on the cards because I wanted to keep it a little bit more simple. So I'm going to move the cards out of the way, and that you guys can't see them all. I'm going to open up these dies so you can see what all is included with these dies as well. So again, it's the Thankful Garden. You can see here that you have dies that cut out all of these different shapes here that are part of the stamp set, and you got some leaves and all of the other little ones that will kind of cut out the smaller images here as well. So lots of different dies for you to pick from. Now other dies that I used on tonight's projects, I used on the dies that are called Something Fancy for a couple of shapes, and so I will show you those here later in my video. The ribbon that I used on tonight's projects, I have to improvise, you guys, because the ribbon that I used is a 1/4 inch fresh freesia ribbon. I'm going to bring one of my cards in to show you. Let's see which one's the top on my pile. Here we go. It is this one right here. So this is the beautiful ribbon that I used on the cards. It's a nice, really pretty velvety ribbon. I don't have any more left. I used all of it in my class and in all the kits that we have ready to ship out. So if any of you are interested in purchasing the class, you'll have the ribbon that you need to make these cards. But I'm going to be substituting tonight in my video with a different fresh freesia ribbon. Now this ribbon was part of the Celebration offering, but I'm going to continue to use it because it's what I have, and it will still match, which is the awesome thing when you have different things that you can improvise with. The embellishment that I chose to use tonight, this is an embellishment that does go with this bundle. It's called Starburst Sequins. And so let me open this up so that you can see these as well. Now I chose not to do any kind of giveaway tonight. It's really hard to do a giveaway when you guys can't share because I'm not live. So instead, what I'm going to do is, if you will go back to giving away product next week, if you share my video on Facebook, YouTube, comment, you'll get in the drawing, and I will draw 2 people to receive some of the cards that I'm sharing tonight. Okay, so we'll do that instead. So I do encourage you to please share, let others know about my awesome Thursday night videos. And you'll still be able to win some of these awesome cards already made, sent to you for you to be able to use for your card giving needs. Okay, so these are the sequins, the Starburst sequins that you're going to be seeing me use tonight. They are adhesive backed, which makes them really, really nice. So those are the 2 products that we're going to be using. Now let me show you some of this designer series paper. So this paper is gorgeous. We have been using the heck out of it. We've used it for my scrapbook club. We've used it for cards. We've used it for swaps. So I don't have a ton to share with you because we literally have used a lot of it. This is one of the patterns, and on the back you have just the black and white polka dot. So you can still get a good idea for what it looks like by looking at that strip. We have this purple one right here, fresh freesia, with the green on the back. We have this pretty one right here. Love this one. Gorgeous paper. And you can see there that the designs on this paper match the stamp set. So pretty awesome, right? green on the back of that one. This one is very pretty and elegant. This would be, I see this fabric and it reminds me of a really pretty like skirt that somebody would wear with that really pretty flowers on it. Black and white on the back of that. This one's probably one of my favorite pieces. I love this one. And then you do have some black and white on the back. And this piece, look at the beautiful little flowers in there. I love the pretty Daffodil Delight. And then on the back, you have some also patterned leaves with black and white. Okay, so that is the paper. Now, then this is all the suite that you can order now, and I absolutely love it. So let's dive in and I will share with you guys some of these cards here tonight, okay? So the first card that I'm going to be making with you is this one right here. And this is where I use the Something Fancy dies to cut out these two shapes. Now, I loved the paper, so I'm like, you know, that doesn't really require a whole lot of embellishments other than that beautiful paper. So I'm using Blueberry Bushel for my card base today. And then I have a piece of Designer Series paper that's going to go on the top of this, and a piece of the Boho Blue. I embossed this one with Eyelet. This one I used a different one, but again, you can pick whichever embossing folder that you want. And we're going to go ahead and adhere those down. Now, what I did do is I did put some ribbon onto this before I glued that down to the middle. So let me add a little bit of adhesive here to this. I'm just going to do it a little bit on the sides. And let me bring in the ribbon here. So we're just going to glue this right around here. So it's going to be a little bit wider because I'm choosing to use a little bit of a wider ribbon tonight. But that's okay. It's going to still look awesome. Oh, and I got to find some scissors. Oh, there we go. Okay, just had to go find them. They were hidden underneath all my junk. Okay, so there we have that little piece right there. Okay, so I'm going to now adhere all of this together. So we're just going to add this piece of Designer Series paper here up at the top. And we're just going to add it on there. And then we're going to add the blue, the Boho Blue. Now, Boho Blue is a color that is leaving us. So if you have not purchased it yet, I think it wasn't available for a while, and then it's back. I haven't checked the status of it right before my video with all of you, but I would definitely look at that before it's gone. It's probably the color I'm going to miss the most. And I'm going to then add this little strip with the ribbon right across the center here. So this is going to fit perfectly across the center. Okay, oops, I should put that back up so you guys can see it. Sorry about that. And then these are two of the shapes from the Something Fancy dies, and they coordinate together. And you can see I did one in Blueberry Bushel, one in Basic White. Stamped my Thankful for You friend sentiment on that. And then this, we are just going to adhere these two together and then put them onto my card using some dimensionals. So I'm just going to adhere like that. And let me bring in, I think all I have are my mini dimensionals over here yet. I haven't replenished this, but that's okay. Add some little dimensionals here. And we are going to take off the backings here and add this onto the card. You can see here, though, I did have this one come down a little bit further. So this one's going to be up in the middle more. And then I'm going to top it off with a couple of those adhesive backed sequins. So I'm going to grab my Take Your Pick tool here. I'm going to get some yellow ones on here. Going to show up really nice. So one there and one there. And voila, that is our first card. Isn't that pretty? Again, that paper is just gorgeous and does awesome things for those cards. And I love all the colors of blue, so I really liked that card. Okay, the next card that I'm going to be sharing with you tonight is this one right here. So this is that paper that I told you I really, really liked. Here you can see I stamped the flower image. So here's the flower image. And I just stamped that with my Memento black ink. And then I colored it with Garden Green blends and with Daffodil Delight blends. But look how pretty that is. So let's go ahead and assemble this one together. So for this one, I used Garden Green for my card base. So I'm just going to fold it in half. And then I have a layer of 5 1/4 by 4 this is actually the crushed curry, but I did use Daffodil Delight for coloring the flowers, so they were a little bit lighter. I'm going to go ahead and adhere this down to my card. So this one I did not use any ribbon, and the color combo isn't even part of the Fresh Freesia either. But you can see here that I'm literally just adding, look how pretty those colors all blend. So this is a piece of 4 by probably 2.5 of the Designer Series paper. And we're just going to adhere this down to the center of my card like this. Okay, so like that. And then we have a piece of paper here. This is basic white cardstock. It is probably 4 1/4 by maybe 3. It's a little bit taller than my normal 4 by 3, but I wanted to have all this stuff to be able to fit. You can see it says "with love" on there. So we're going to go ahead and add that to the card here in the middle, just like that. Look how pretty that is. And then simply added in some of those sequin dots again. And I used yellow again because, you know, the yellow just are kind of pretty. So this one I'm going to add 3 of them. All right, there's card number 2. I know, so cute and simple and quick and fun. All right, my next card, again, you guys, I really let the paper kind of lead the way on some of these cards. This one I absolutely love. This is probably my favorite Designer Series paper. I paired it behind it with some of the boho blue, then with the melon mambo, and to me this card just pops. Simple, quick, easy, but so awesome. I should say so effective. That's been my new word lately. That's effective. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and fold them. Don't ask me why, but I say it at work sometimes. I'm going to go ahead and fold the melon mambo in half here. And then I'm just going to put that to the side. We have a piece of that beautiful paper and then also the boho blue behind it. So this goes the full span of my card, which is 5 1/2. And then this is going to go a little bit 1/4 of an inch over on the side so that it kind of, and you can see it doesn't really pop until I add it, until I add it to the not Fresh Freesia, Melon Mambo cardstock. Okay, so we're just going to go ahead and adhere this down like that, lining it all up. And then we're going to add some ribbon around it. So again, we're substituting with this bigger Fresh Freesia ribbon, but it's still going to look wonderful. So I've been trying to get a little bit better at not buying a bunch of ribbons and things that I don't need, because then I just waste money and I have so much left. And so when we buy the ribbon for my classes, I've been trying to make sure I buy what I need. Well, I guess I've been doing pretty good with that because we didn't have any left, none at all. Okay, so this is now going to get adhered down. You'll see I'll add the little tie-on piece in a minute. Watch this pop when I add it to this Melon Mambo cardstock. Look at that, you guys. It just pops that boho blue right off the page. Now we're going to go ahead and add in a little piece of the, and I have static going on down here. I turned my heat on. It has been off for a while. After freezing, Jen and I were freezing in this basement for a while. I decided to finally turn the heat on, and voila, why did I not do that sooner? So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and tie this on here like that. Just like that. So next week I will be drawing, just so you guys know, I'll be giving away the baker's twine and the embellishments plus somebody for the cards, okay? Because I'm not going to give away the product tonight because the product is just too hard to do when I do pre-recorded videos. So, but 2 lucky people will receive these beautiful cards that I'm making with you here tonight. Then using the stylish shapes, I cut out one of the circles and I stamped the "with love." And yes, that comes from the stamp set of Thankful Garden. And we're going to go ahead and put that on with a couple of dimensionals as well. So again, very simple cards, but very pretty. Just going to adhere these down on here like that. And then the "with love" will come on here. And then topping it off with some of these awesome sequins. This time I'm going to use the pretty pink ones. I'm just going to add a couple here to the card. And you could add another one if you wanted to, but I'm just going to add that one. And look how pretty it is. Very, very pretty and simple. Okay, that is card number 3. This next card is probably one of my second favorite ones. And I really like how cute and simple this one turned out. So what do you guys think? Isn't this one gorgeous? So this one's on Fresh Freesia. You can see here where I used some of the basic white for a layer and added this beautiful paper that coordinates so well with the card base and the white. What I did is, this is kind of a neat little thing that I did. I wanted to have some kind of a little textured element that went across the middle. So I decided to cut, I have a lot of 1/2-inch strips for me cutting the cards, you know, cardstock down and stuff. And what we did is we stamped with this little stamped image right here. We stamped these images onto this using the Fresh Freesia ink. So it's color on color. Gives you just a little bit of a texture look to that. Added it to the card, and look at how awesome that is. You can see here what we did is we fussy cut some of the flowers from the same designer series paper and put it on the card with some with some dimensionals to give it some definition and volume. So let's go ahead and make this card together. Isn't that one so pretty? So for this, I used the Fresh Freesia card base as well. So let me bring this in. I'm just going to fold the Fresh Freesia in half. And then I'm going to go ahead and start building up the card itself. So I have the piece of designer series paper followed by the basic white. They're cut 1/4 inch different in size. We're just going to adhere those two together. And then those are going to eventually get adhered down to the card. But for right now, we're just going to adhere those together. And then here are those 2 little strips that I mentioned to you. So I'm just going to add some adhesive. Oh, actually, you guys, I lied. That is the designer series paper. But if you don't have the paper, you can achieve the same look by doing the little stamping. I assumed it was stamped. So this is actually some designer series paper that we used that has that texture in it. So even better, you don't have to stamp anything, but that is how you can get that same look. You would stamp color on color. So you'd stamp Fresh Freesia on Fresh Freesia or whatever color it is that you're using, and it gives you just a nice subtle look, just like what you're seeing here, even though this time it was, oh, that thing keeps rolling at me. Okay. And we're going to add this one right here. And so you're just going to kind of add those 2 pieces of designer paper even with each other. We're going to go ahead and add this to the card base now. So we're just going to go ahead and add some adhesive to this and add this to the card base. Like that. Okay. And then I used, again, that same shape, the Something Fancy dies. Thankful for You, Friend. We're going to go ahead and put that on with some dimensionals. So I'm going to just add a couple here. Like that. Good enough. Now I would normally use the bigger dimensionals here, but the little ones work too. They go a long way, so I just prefer the bigger ones. So Thankful for You. Okay, and now we're going to go ahead and fussy cut out some of these flowers. So whatever you have from left over from the designer series paper, you're just going to cut them out. So I'm just going to cut around one of these flowers here. Ta-da! Let me get that out of there. So quiet all of a sudden because Kim quit talking. Okay, so there's one. Let's see. Oh, we're going to go with this great big one as well. Even though it's kind of flush on the edge, you'll see how I'm going to kind of make it a little rounded here in just a little bit. But let me cut this around first and get this all out. I hate having all that excess on there, so we're going to cut that off. And I'm just going to cut around this one a little bit. And okay, so now to get that little rounded, I'm only going to cut these 2. I'm not going to cut that 3rd one. To get this a little rounded, I'm just going to make it look like it's a little bit smaller petal. And I'm just going to cut around it. Maybe trim that down a smudge. And maybe make that go in a little bit more, and voila. So you can't even tell that that was right now close to the edge. So a great way to use up all of that and make it look like it's just meant to be that way. All right, so now we're going to go ahead and add this to the card with a couple of dimensionals. So I'm just going to, you can kind of add these wherever you want. I'm going to add mine up here. And then the other one I'm going to add on top of it, but I'm going to come down here a little bit like that. And then the final thing I did was I added a bow. Now, I'm not going to add a bow with the Fresh Freesia ribbon because I really like it with the littler ribbon, so I'm not going to do that. But I am going to go ahead and add the sequin here. So we're going to go ahead and take one off of here, and I added a sequin here. And I'm going to actually add another smaller one over on the other side down here. And voila, beautiful card. And you really don't even need that ribbon, really, if you don't want to do that. So that is card number 4. Okay, my last card that I'm going to be sharing with you all tonight for your video is this one right here. And I did still use the beautiful Fresh Freesia on this card because I really liked how it looked. So for this one, I'm using the card base of Basic White. And so we're just going to, let me get all these dimensional backings out of here. Man, I hate those. Just going to go ahead and get that one out of here. Fold this in half. And then we added some Designer Series paper to the mix here. So we just have a piece of the one that we used, looks like this. And then we have these two, one that's going to go over here, and then this one that's going to go down here. And you're just going to kind of adhere them down to the card however you want them to. So let me grab my adhesive and get these adhered down. So this one I'm just going to kind of put up here. And if you want to, you can even put them at a little bit of an angle. And that's what I'm going to do on this one here. I'm going to add these to a little bit of an angle to the card. And just give it a little bit more definition and character, for lack of a better word. We're going to give this card some character. All right, so there we have it. And in advance, I did stamp this with the Memento Black ink, cut it out, and I embossed it with, I colored it with the Daffodil Delight and the Shaded Spruce on this one, I do believe. Or it might be Granny Apple Green. Either one of them would work. I'm going to go ahead and adhere this down to the card. Now you could also put this on with dimensionals if you wanted to. I kind of liked how it just blended in with these flowers up here. So I'm just going to go ahead and adhere that down. And then I have my Thankful for You Friend stamped with Memento Black ink onto Peach Pie cardstock. And that kind of makes the color of this just pop a little bit. You can see here that I also added a little circular area of Fresh Freesia. I'm not going to do that tonight with the other Fresh Freesia. So I'm just going to add this to the card with some dimensionals. So I'm just going to do that. And I'm going to adhere it down here like that. Oops, actually, let me cut this a little bit straighter. I got that a little crooked, and I don't like it. There we go. So we're just going to adhere this down to the card. And from there, I added in some of the embellishments. So I didn't use a lot of the white ones, but look at how those yellow ones just pop on here. I just love that. So we're just going to add one here, a big one to the top, and then a small one to the bottom. And then we're going to do the same thing over here, a bigger one to the top, and then a smaller one underneath here to the bottom. So there you have it. Love those cards. So let me bring all these in here tonight for you to be able to see. And again, I apologize that I was not live with you. I know that I mentioned to you all that I had my granddaughter Chloe's T-ball game. And then Claire reminded me, hey Mom, I have my last orchestra concert. But she's getting excited because that means her CMU class is coming to an end and she can then focus on just her high school stuff to get all of the lasts in. We know we have prom and graduation and dance recital, this last concert. Well, this concert's with the CMU orchestra, so she'll still be doing that next year. But all these things that she's trying to get in that is driving her crazy from a timing perspective. So excited to kind of have a little bit of things come to an end for her so that she's not going to be quite so busy. But there are the 5 cards that I created for you guys tonight that I was going to be sharing with you if I was live with you. So I decided last minute to quickly throw together my pre-recorded video for all of you using this awesome Thankful Garden bundle. Now, this is still a class that's available to sign up for. So if you're interested in it, please let me know. You can comment or send me a private message, and I'd be happy to get this out to you right away. All right, thank you all so very much for joining me on my pre-recorded video for this week. I will be back with you all next week, and I always appreciate your understanding. I always like to say family first to all of you, and so I appreciate that you also have that same understanding with me, so I appreciate that. All right, thanks everyone. Have a great rest of your night, a great weekend, and I'll be back with you soon. Bye.